जैसे शाम 5 बजे तक हमारी खास डिशेस देसी तवा या हमारी ताज़ा हांडी 1 kg बेबी चिकन लैम का गोश्त हड्डी के साथ ऑर्डर पर तैयार कराएं। ईट इनसाइड टेक वे के लिए फ्री डिलीवरी। पूरा मेन्यू देखने के लिए और ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर करने के लिए हमारी वेबसाइट पे जाएं desirestaurant.co.uk। 60 नशिस्तों की गुंजाइश के साथ और एक प्राइवेट फंक्शन रूम कैटरिंग सर्विस भी दस्तयाब। डोंट फॉरगेट देसी रेस्टोरेंट 298 लिंकन रोड पीटरब्रो PE1 2ND। कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर 555795।
Broadcasting 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. This is Salam Radio.
Good evening, everybody. This is Sukhi Wahiwala, your close and dearest friend, here from Peterborough, as always, on the amazing Empower Hour show across the globe. Actually, we repatriate with a lot of individuals across the countries and across the UK and internationally. So we're really, really proud to have another guest for us today. But before I go through the guest's bio and details, may I just please if I can, just touch base with how you can interact with us, because this is a local show for everybody here in Peterborough, specifically first, and then it moves on into the rest of the country. But what we do is we introduce and we connect you with individuals who have had possible challenges, but never really taken it to heart and have actually shown and proven themselves in the vein of the empowerment hour to show you that it is possible and how their journeys have been going through and how they've overcome them as well. So if you'd like to interact with our guest this evening, which is Mohammed Zaman, and I will go through his bio very, very shortly, and you will be gripped with this story. It is truly, truly heart-wrenching, but also humbling and inspiring at the same time. Please do get in touch with us directly here at the studio on You Know the Drill. It's all of the Inspired Tribe here at WhatsApp, straight on 07745 278 978. And don't forget, if you're ringing in from international, or if you're sending through, then obviously press +44 beforehand as well. If you'd like to ring straight into the studio, you're welcome to as well on 01733 602 133. I don't sometimes know where to start, but actually, if I may, before I should go forward in introducing our amazing guest this evening, if I may just share some love and care with a very good friend of mine, Wahid Akram, who sadly lost his dad during the day here in Peterborough. Is Haji Mia Mohammed Akram, 29 Audley Gate. So I would just like to send my love and attention out to everybody else, and Zahid, obviously, who is a co-host here and also a very influential individual in the Peterborough community, and another school friend of mine. I'd like to send my regards, and on behalf of all us Inspired Tribe, send our condolences to the family, and may God give you the gift of inner strength and love to go get through this important time in your life. Okay, so back to this evening on the Empower Hours show. I am going to introduce very shortly, but this is a very short bio, because I really want us to take the journey with him on a personal level, and get really, really interactive and touched, by his real story. It's quite a hard-hitting title, so it's the truth, and I want to get this through. This is a gentleman who we've got this evening. If you can see us already, and if you're tuned in on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, welcome to everybody. You know the drill. Please communicate, touch base, share with friends. It's every Tuesday, the Empower Hour, where we bring individuals via myself, Sukhi Wahiwala, your host. This gentleman, Mohammed Zaman, he's a British individual. He's here. He has gone through what we classify as modern slavery, to being homeless on the British streets during the cold, the winter, what he calls having the sky above himself, to turning his life around. And this is truly inspiring. When you start to listen and hear this humble young lad, you'll understand where I'm coming from. He's turned his life into becoming an Olympic ambassador, an individual in 2012 who actually put all his heart and soul, and he was actually asked to be an ambassador at that particular time. He's involved in Croydon, council. He's involved in so many assistances as an ambassador. He helps various unbelieving it's unbelievable, his journey, but, charitable trusts to raise capital for them, to help fundraise for them, to be helpful to the elderly. It's really a picturesque model today. But what we're aiming to do is to get close and tight with him, to understand his journey up until now, because behind greatness, there always comes sometimes, there could be an opportunity of understanding and learning from the pain that we've had in our life as well. And with respect, I don't tend to be I'm not really interested in my own voice after this, so it'll be more about Mohammed as we go through. So I'd like to invite him and welcome him to the show. Welcome, Mohammed.
Welcome, Brother Sukhi and Salam Radio. Good evening to all our viewers and the listener. First of all, I would like to give a special thanks to invite me, and I was really amazed by this project and this radio, how you work very hard to push these people who is doing really some great work in our community for the country.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much on behalf of us all. But I know you're definitely in the same vein, and I'm very, very aware that you actually agree with us when I'm about to say to yourself that, we're just the physical incarnations of what we were supposed to be doing, but the strings are pulled by the Almighty Himself. So we are just here in our humble service, and as you are as well. And you're going to get to know this team as you listen to how Mohammed has actually lived his life, and honestly, the pain that he's gone through to get himself where he is today. So if you don't mind, Mohammed, I'd like to get straight to the point and really, really delve in, because using a word like slavery or modern slavery in today, it's unbelievable to believe that this is even possible in the day, and in specifically, within the UK. Yeah. So we're talking circa around 2005, 2006. Is that right? Yeah. So, what happened? How did you get yourself into this situation? I know you came here for employment, so you came here on a very clear understanding journey from, I assume you're just so everybody knows, that you're from Bangladesh originally, yes?
Yes. Obviously, I'm originally from Bangladesh, and I came to this country for the work purpose, and obviously it's my first time while I came, so I didn't know much about the country and the system, so I had to rely on the people who was, sponsored me, and I was in the catering, in my profession was in the catering. So
that's not too far away from here. Catering's only up the road. Catering.
Yeah, in the catering, in the restaurant, in those business where I used to work. So in that time while I came, obviously I had a good dream for a better life. That's why people immigrant for over the centuries from one country to another country for the different and better life. And
betterment, yes.
Yeah, and I had the same thing. But while I came and I faced the reality, it was really, it was really different, and I was really shocked. And you asked the questions like how I involved with these things. I had to work day and night, which is against my will, and against my will, and it was really difficult, because that time when I spent few years, but I didn't know much about the system, how it works, where I should go, who is the right person, if anything happened to go, because the place I was living, I never had any chance to get out.
Get out of the actual work environment, yes?
Yes. Always, most of the time, 17, 18 hours I had to spend in my workplace, and I was forced. And not only that, it was not only me, actually, people who was living there, the other staff, they had a similar situation, actually. And everyone has a different issues and all these things. So when I started to live there, I was really, depressed, and I had no chance to get out.
So if I could just touch base on this, and so you're working in a restaurant, but from my understanding, you're working very long hours, 12-hour shifts. That's minimum, right? Yeah. Sometimes with 12-hour shifts. But then you're also kind of forced, in essence, to work in a physical way as well. Like maybe on a site, which is probably some kind of building site, etc. Was that right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's not only in there. Sometimes I had to work outside as well, outside the restaurant. And the reason is because I was always worried about that. If something happened, if I would be kicked out, where shall I go? Because I had no place to go anywhere. I don't have any second choice. I didn't know many people, actually.
Wow. So it was the fear if I can just clarify for everybody here, the fear of not knowing what is possible, where to go. So it's like you were kind of suffocating in this one space where you had to keep doing the same thing again and again.
Yes, and the another issues was I was thinking that time, if I go outside and if I tell the people could believe it or not, you know.
So basically, because it's such a deeply painful story and reality that you were going through, you were worried about whether somebody would actually even believe that it's true.
Yeah, because already I fall in a trap that time. And I was thinking, if I go and tell someone, if I will fall another trap, then my life will be demolished.
Oh my goodness.
You know,
yes.
so this word always work it in my mind.
It's fear. Yeah.
The fear, and this is the advantage they took it. You know, they took full advantage. And not only that, the place I used to live, the people from different and they have a different mental issues, you know, drugs and gamblings and all these things. And while I was living with them, it was really touched my mind. And I was feeling, where I am, you know, how I can get out. I remember that time every night I used to pray to God, please get me out from there. But I didn't know how to get out.
So it was despair.
Yes, and I would say like I was fighting with myself, and I was just asking myself, what is the point of value of this life? You know, I was never expecting that, and I was thinking I live in a country where we know that the rules and regulations, the laws and everything, but where the situation I was, it was totally different scenario.
Yeah. So it was a complete opposite to the humanitarian logic of the country.
Yes, this is the things, and not only that. It was very emotional that time when a person gone through that way, because it's not happened overnight. It's happened months, years, and it's totally demolish and break down your confidence, your trust. And that time, even it's very difficult to trust yourself. You know, what can I do if I take the next step? What is going to happen? Will
I even be taken seriously? Is there actually an answer for this at the end of the bit? So just quickly, while I may share, if I can just take a few seconds, if anybody else who's listening tonight is having or knows of somebody in the similar situation, there is an answer. There is a step out. You can reach out. And Mohammed, would you please help? What would you advise anybody in this situation to help them out of the situation?
Yes, obviously in that time when I faced it, that time there's not many system was built up to help those people who is under slavery or fall in a trap. But last couple of years, the government, they take a special action. So it would be really useful. They should contact with the local police station. And they have, and also the government, they opened a new department for, it's called the modern day slavery.
Modern day
slavery.
And is that within the police?
Is not within the police, but they work with the police. So it's because most of the people who fall in those traps, they're immigrant.
Yes,
you know.
They've migrated, that's right.
Yeah,
yes.
And these people, they don't know much. So sometimes because of the system, they don't get support from the local council and other things. And also they don't know where to go. But they know the police. So the best thing is straight we should contact with the police.
Contact the police and ask them to connect you with modern day slavery.
Yeah, and
division.
explain. Don't never feel shy or they will believe it or no, because they know what they're saying is the truth. Trust yourself and explain to them.
Do you know, honestly, please, if anybody does know, do reach out, do help people. This is what the Empower Hour is for. We're here to bring individuals and stop any kind of basic rights that an individual has, to actually enhance them, to actually allow them to have all the human rights possible. Thank you very much for that little message there. But if you can see, I'm not sure if you can see through the video, etc., you'll see this very handsome, very, very dapper looking individual now. So life has obviously moved on for you, right? But before we get into the constant growth of where you are right now in this world, can I just touch base a little bit? How, if I go back to those nights, I mean, there was physical abuse, there was mental abuse, emotional, mental abuse. You managed to get yourself into a positive state, or what was the first what actually broke that cycle of selfless trust? You stopped trusting yourself, you stopped trusting anybody to see whether you even get help. So please help us here.
This is the main thing. One night when it's gone to very extreme, and I found my personal details have been used to clear the debt. It's a
Oh
big
my goodness.
Yeah, it was a big amount, and I was really helpless, and I was shocked. And
So your previous employer had used your identity through fraudulent reasons and intentions and actually built a debt on there
yeah,
without you even knowing.
Yeah, I didn't know anything, but I
goodness.
found later, and when I found it, and then I asked them, I faced more trouble.
Oh my goodness.
I faced more trouble, and I was really shocked. And then that time, it is what the question you have asked, which things break down. That time, I have realized, whatever will happen. God knows.
Yes.
But to save my life and to save my identity, I have to get out.
It must stop.
I was really, really desperate. But one thing, I know that very well. I didn't do anything. I was innocent.
That's the key. So you had that inner strength and belief.
Yes.
Now, had you, at this particular point, I mean, what were the first steps? I think you mentioned when we were talking earlier with reference to a customer who was a policeman who you said, enough's enough, I've got to try something.
Yeah. So obviously, I spent a few years, but I didn't know much. But I know few customers. They loved me so much. So I know a gentleman. He worked for the local authority. So I went to him. He helped me, and this is the way. But it was not easy actually, because when I went to the local authorities, the police, none of them, they couldn't believe. They said, I have the mental issues.
So hang on a second, please. You went to the police, so you actually did go there. And then what happened? You said you gave the whole story of the reality of what was actually going on in your life.
Yes, they refused to help me, and they said I have a mental issues. But there is a point. I don't give blame to them. The main reason is that time they never had any experience like that people had gone through. This is the main things.
So in essence, it was you were one of the first pioneering individuals who were standing out saying, "Look, this is not okay." So it was. I suppose you could say maybe their understanding at that time, and this is, as you said yourself, you don't blame them, which I think is so.
I was upset. I was quite disappointed, but I was thinking also the reality. But after this, police helped me. Later. It took time, I went to my local MPs and all these things, and they helped me. And when they listened my full story, they were shocked.
So the sheer fact that you were relentless, you kept at it, and then when they started to realize that you're not mentally issued, you were actually telling the truth, as far-fetched as it sounded, that you start to get traction on your story and it started moving forward. Today, obviously, it's easier. So you've kind of paved the way forward, haven't you?
Even I wouldn't say these days going to be easy, because I had gone through, and because I can feel who is going through that time. It is when a person will come out from that environment, it is very difficult to explain, because he or she doesn't know how to explain.
I understand, yes.
That time is very important to understand them. What's kind of help them, because some people they don't know how to speak English. They have a different languages.
I understand. Yes.
Even they know they can't explain to you. They have a fear. Yeah. All these things, lots of things. It's like as a junk mail. The
Yes,
brain
absolutely.
became like as a junk mail. Lots of things works in the mind.
Jumbled, mixed up as well. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I understand that. So with yourself, what happened next? Obviously, the fear of not having a roof over your head was keeping you there. But then when you actually finally decided to move on, you said, enough is enough. You reached out, you found somebody who loved you, who cared enough for you, and gave you the assistance. You've relentlessly pushed forward. You obviously were badged with a financial debt as well, which you had nothing to do with. You ended up on the street.
Yes.
So please help us understand what that was like.
Obviously, I became, I had to get out, and the only choice to live on the street or as a homeless.
Yeah.
I had no choice. But I spent few weeks as a homeless, and at that time I realized how difficult the life as a homeless. I spend many places, sometimes near the shopping center, sometimes in the park, sometimes, especially at the night, sometimes I was in the bus, not every night.
I can't even imagine it. It's something I can't even say I can imagine it. I can't imagine it.
But it was not easy how I can explaining to you. And not only that, in that time, the mentally, not for me, for everyone, it was a very difficult time. And this is the time I give, I try to realize the value of my life, because sometimes I think, what is the point to live in this world? I should live, or I should do something which is not right. But that time I have realized the life is a gift from the God, and I don't have any right to do anything else. But maybe is a test for me, so I have to be patient.
What a humble way of seeing that. That's a very positive but very humble way of seeing it, and very orientated around the universe and God. The way it was actually, okay, look, I have this unbelievable life. I will not give it away. I will stand on my ground and I'll move forward. So God bless you for that.
And that time I have realized that I had to stand. I had to prove that I was innocent. I didn't do anything. And for that, what I have to do? I have to leave. If I leave this world today, everything is done, finished. No one will bother. But I have to live, to prove it. And I did. Yes, it took time. So after that, while I spent, a few weeks as a homeless, so I went to a friend to get some help, to, give me some space to live. And he was very humbled, and I'm really grateful to this friend. He gave me a chance to live in his place,
in his house,
in his house.
Yeah.
And that time, before I was under the sky, and after that I was under the roof, and it made a big difference, And thanks God. Then I started to realize what to do, how to take my next step. I was in a peace,
kind of like in peace, but reconciling yourself.
Yes, yeah,
clean. I can appreciate the fact that obviously, being a Muslim, and it's very, very important for wuzu, which is the prayer time, to be clean and tidy within oneself, in the mindset as well.
And not only that, if you are not clean, then normally, even if some person is at home, and if you are not clean, his mind is affect everything.
Everything, yes, yes.
And on that time, I was in so much stress. On top of that, I was homeless. Can you imagine that, what was going through? I
don't think the audience... I definitely can't myself, and I can only empathise with the process you were in. But what I've noticed, and after speaking to yourself, Mohammed, is that there is something within you. It's a light. It's a never-fading light. No, I can. No, I will stand up against this. It's the acceptance that possibly this is happening, but without blame. And this is a very unique scenario. I've met with most people. It's very rare that you come across an individual like yourself. So I'd like to, just bless you for that energy. Now, just for the audience, if I may share, because I'm going to let Mohammed speak a lot more in a moment, but I just want you to know that he is very okay with speaking about this era and this time of his life, because he's done this very professionally. He speaks on stage. He helps and mentors individuals today. He assists with others who are going through the same situations, and on top of all of this, he has been on TV. He's done many TV, BBC shows, etc., explaining the system as well. So I'm not putting him on the spot, so please understand that it's all been re-understood. So thank you for any kind of concerns you're having as well. So Mohammed, back to yourself, if I may say. You're now in a safe place with your friends home. You're there, you're starting to recollect yourself. So what does one do when you're in that situation? I mean, love is tussling with you, isn't it? So how did you manage
obviously
to rekindle it?
That time I was really grateful to those couple of friends who helped me lots, because if they didn't, I don't know where I will be that time. Might be as an homeless, my life would be get worse.
Wow.
So when I get the time, and my everything, my name, everything was cleared from all, these fraud from the fraud and everything.
So it was cleared.
Yeah,
oh,
it was, but it took time. It took few months and all these things, but it was cleared. And that time I realized I had nothing. I lost everything, but I have myself
and your dignity.
Yes. And I know, actually, I have a vision. I know what to do, but the thing is, I don't know how to do it, because I don't know anything. And this is the time. And because I can just want to go back. While I work, I used to do volunteering in my local church. They had the elderly home, and most of them they're 70s, 80s, and I was the only young person who used to go there. And that time, it was the best hours in a week for me.
When you actually went there to serve, to help, to
yes, and
tithing,
they're
zakat.
and they're a bit surprised, like as a young man, why I go. They asked me the question. They have the curiosity. I said, "You have no one, I have no one. That's why we are here. But we have each other and we love."
Oh, God bless you.
This is the things. And then I realized that I know something, so I tried to implement this experience, and I gone back. And this is the time I really struggled few years to get back the trust, the confidence.
Within yourself or with others?
Within yourself plus others. Because lots of people that time, they took advantage from me because of my all this weakness and vulnerable state and the weakness. They took the advantage. So I couldn't trust anyone. So it helped me to gain back the trust. Even it took few years because I had no choice. And this is through the volunteering work to serve my local communities. I got it back. And this thing gave me the confidence, and it gave me some light to come out from the darkness.
Amazing. There's an Urdu saying that says, "Der hai, andher nahi." And here again, we have another example of this, which means der hai, there may be a delay, but there is not darkness. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. You are a living example of this, Mohammed, and I really appreciate this. So I can't believe how fast the time has gone for the Empower Hour phase, or should I say, part one is already finishing. We have 5 seconds to 10 seconds left for me to cover. I'm hoping the audience is really interested and really enjoying it so far, because we are going to take this into another light straight after the break at 7:30. So I'll see you very shortly on the Empower Hour.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
The masjid is a center of spirituality, education, and a social hub for the community. In the times of the Blessed Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, the masjid lay at the heart of society and was not just a place of sanctuary and prayer, but also a thriving educational institution. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is reported to have said, "Whoever builds a masjid for Allah, be it large or small, Allah will build for him a house in paradise." Sunnah al-Tirmidhi. The role of the masjid has always been instrumental in the educational, social and moral uplifting of the Muslim community. Please donate by visiting childrenofadam.net or call us on 0300 321 0032.
Had a car accident or an accident at work? Accident specialists are experts in no-win, no-fee accident claims. Leave the hassle to us. Our multilingual settlement experts will manage the entire claims process on your behalf, with nothing to pay up front. We provide services such as credit hire, taxi vehicles, recovery, storage and much more. For full details on our range of services and a free consultation, call us on 01733 555 774 or visit our office at 249 Lincoln Road opposite the NatWest Bank. Accident Specialists. Start your successful claim today.
दोस्ता की परेशान है
जरा कर है ना सारा सौदा मुक्या वा मुल्का विच पैसे भेजने
हूं नहीं अमार फूड वाले की फोन खड़का ते फ्री लोकल डिलीवरी कार मंगवा
आला ता उथे कै स्पेशल आ
उना की लबाई हाइजीन च ग्रेड 5 चीजें चंगियां मियारी ते सस्तियां ते नाले ऑफरां ही ऑफरां
और क्या
ताजा गोश्त ताजी सब्जियां ते फ्रूट आटा चावल दालां मसाले ते जूस सारे बिल जमा करने गैस ते इलेक्ट्रिक ने टॉप अप भी करने पाकिस्तान पैसे बिल्कुल फ्री भेजने मतलब के एक चिड़ी ने दूध छड़ी ते हर शय लबनी
उठ जने ने आप उतरा
Amar Food Store and Halal Meat 613B Lincoln Road Peterborough telephone 01733 687374.
Tired of going to the butchers for your halal meat? Haji Baba is now open in Asda. We've been in Asda for over 10 years with over 45 counters nationwide. Come to us for better packaging, variety and great quality. Chicken breast, cubes or mince, only $3.99 a kilo. Lamb or sheep leg, shoulder or mixed for only $6.99 a kilo. Baby chickens only $1.99. All your halal meat and grocery needs under one roof. Haji Baba Halal Meat. Find us in Asda.
Feel like some great tasting chicken tonight? Great meal deals, wraps, burgers and sides. We've got it all at Chicken Palace. Call and collect at 302 Lincoln Road on 01733 702 447 or 8 Park Road on 01733 343750. Chicken Palace, open 11 a.m. till late.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن الغضب يفسد الإيمان كما يفسد الصبر العسل. That anger ruins faith just like the aloe plant ruins honey.
Allah's Apostle sallallahu alaihi wasallam said,
If you want to learn about Islam and Muslims, stay tuned to Salam Radio 106.2 FM.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Empower Hours show again here on Salam Radio in Peterborough. So, I'm not joking, we have had the most beautiful journey so far in part 1, and now we're obviously in part 2. We are spending this evening, the Empower Hour, with an individual who's encapsulated some really, really distraught emotions, but also journeys. He's basically gone through modern day slavery. He's become homeless. We've discussed this all in the first half, so you're welcome to go back and scrub back and have a listen. But welcome back, and what we're going to do is we're going to go forward and see what actually Mohammed's up to today. Welcome back, Mohammed.
Thank you very much. I hope our viewers and the listeners, they're really enjoying.
Yep, well, to be honest with yourself, I'm very, very certain they are. Yes, absolutely. So, because there's a truth in your conversation. But we're going to go deeper, if you don't mind. Here on the Empower Hours show with myself, Sukhi, Wahiwala, we always try to probe just that little bit further. So, my next question to yourself, in a very humble way, is you started to pick yourself up by looking after the elderly. You've gone, and they were the best 3 to 4 hours of your life, sharing your life with elderly people, and you were saying to them that you're alone, I'm alone, so together we're here for each other through love, etc., which I think is inspirational. And you're not a what we class. You're still quite a young lad. You're looking very dapper and very clear, but you're looking very young as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll have the fiver later. No joke. So, but today you've got a very strong spirit about yourself. You're relentless in the way you're moving things forward. How does a person turn himself around and now in 2012 you became an Olympic ambassador? Mohammed, I can't believe. That's just superbly amazing. So if you could just help us to understand, what does that mean, being an Olympic ambassador?
Obviously, life is a journey, and it has ups and downs, and we have to accept, and we have to adopt it. And obviously, behind all these hardships and to come out, my faith really worked, really helped me. This is the one things I try to find my God. How I can get the help. And this is the things, like always we want to do something, but our most important thing is our intention. Our intention has to be clear, the niyat.
Yeah, it has to be pure. Right?
It has to be pure. And whatever I did and I'm still doing, it's just between me and my God, just to please my God, not his creation.
God bless you.
And it's the message for everyone. When I do something, I don't expect anything, and in our society, what happened, we do lots of things, but we want it back, and before get something, I have to give. So always I ask myself what I give.
Yes.
What I have given so far.
Without expectation.
So obviously that time I was involved with the volunteer works in local community. I was a vice chair and the trustee was a volunteer center, Lewisham. So when the Olympic came, that time England was so excited, everyone.
Absolutely.
After many years. So and I selected as an ambassador for London Olympic 2012, and I would say it was a turning point in my life.
God bless you. And what specifically do you think was the turning point?
Because it gave me big hope to fulfill my dream and vision. Because when I went a big in the big ground and all these things, and I met with people from all over the world, and I had a lot of responsibility to represent the England to the people.
So you've come in, if I'm correct, representing England in the main stadium on opening day, yes?
On the opening day and during the tournament. That's why like our role was an ambassador,
It's brilliant.
So it gave me the big hope, and when it has finished, I have lots of opportunity. I had lots of opportunity where I can involve, and then I realized, okay, I could do something, and it gave me really big hope. And I tried to involve, I tried to engage myself, because I told him I had lots of negativity in my life, and this thing brings some positive, some lights in my life, and I tried to hold it. It was not easy. It was very difficult. So, to carry the legacy, what I did, I involved with the local cricket club. I love cricket.
Okay, now that explains the figure.
Yeah, I love cricket, so I want to give my time. So I involved with local cricket club, and this is another turning point when I used to go every Sunday 8 o'clock. I have to go a long way to go there, and I'm really grateful to my manager. His name is Paul. He helped me so much to come here in my sports. I became a qualified umpire because of him.
Wow.
Because of him, it became possible.
Because of him, but also because of your attitude and commitment. Is that right?
Yes, of course. Because he found something. He found something to me.
But
maybe
it's grateful
this way.
for them, yes.
So this is the way. And after the London Olympic, what happened? The mayor of London, they tried to hold the legacy. So they opened another project for the ambassador of Mayor of London. So I became the ambassador of Mayor of London, which is called the Team London. In that project, we try to promote other charities, try to help, encourage people to involve with the volunteer works. And now, things like volunteer work is free work. It's not like that, actually. Myself, I would say I never had any chance to go university for higher educations. But through the volunteering, what I have learned, I'm really grateful. I think I wouldn't learn this thing from the university.
So your message really is that volunteering is key. That giving, that zakat, that tithing from a religious basis is key. So you're very thankful to the journey that you've already led. Yeah. And so just a question to yourself. I mean, how long has it been now since you've been volunteering?
Since I joined, I'm still until now.
Around the 2012, or was it even earlier than that?
Yeah, I started before 2007. Since 2007, my first volunteer works, I've explained in my local church. It was my first volunteering, and until today, I'm doing it. And why I'm doing? Because it gave me lots.
Oh, God bless you.
It gave me lots, and so I have to give back. As not only that, I've been awarded for my volunteer service.
That's right.
And this was
next, yes.
and it was another test, because sometimes when people awarded, they move to in different business, but I didn't. I got award. That means they recognized my work. They want something. They appreciated me. So I got more responsibilities. So I try to give back more, to encourage others.
Wow, that is such a key understanding there. Now let me just repeat that again. So basically, what Mohammed has just said just a moment ago is he's working with a church which is not an Islamic church; it's a Christian church. So the fact that he is an interfaith individual as well, that when he just believes everything has been won, which is wonderful for humanity. Now, secondly, he said that when he got awarded, he didn't just hang the hat up and say, oh, yeah, that's been achieved. I've got the award. And now I'm going to go and find something else. He continued. In fact, he shone lighter, brighter than that actual previous action as well. And this is very commendable, Mohammed. Thank you very much for sharing that point. It's a great message for the next generation.
And after that, when I had gone through, and I have realized, it's not only me, many people like me who is suffering, who is going through a difficult time as a homeless, as stressed, depressed. So from that point of view, I started my own organization. His name is Safe and Save.
Safe and Save? Safe
and Save.
This is yours, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
So from that project, I try to help the homeless people, try to give them mentoring people who is struggling, facing many difficulties. Because I have seen that time I had no one to listen. So I try to listen the people who is going to try to give them the boost. Same time, the homeless people, sometimes we feed the people, that's fine, everyone is doing. But sometimes we have to give time to the homeless people. That's why this project called the I'm With You. That means the homeless, but they're not alone. I'm with them.
this is such a key point there, because even myself, I'll fall into the trap of gifting things, food, clothes, shelter. But do not suggest that is not needed, because the homeless individuals are very cold at this precise minute and they are hungry all the time. But what's just happened there is sometimes a bigger gift, or a gift that's equal, can be given in its time to just have a conversation. Maybe even just acknowledging an individual as another fellow human being, and just sharing their daily thoughts with them. Yeah. So did something like this, what does it do for you, Mohammed, when you are actually sharing with another person, another human being who's in need? What do you get from this? If you can describe it, that'd be really lovely.
Obviously, it's a reminder for myself where I'm from, where I am today, and what could be.
What could have been.
What could be happened, because once a time I was a homeless, and because of the God blessing, today I'm helping the homeless people.
Yeah, well, bless you too.
So sometimes when we have a good time, we forget our past, but I shouldn't. I have to remember where I'm from, what was my roots.
Well done.
This is the main things, and also is a test for me. I was there, but I didn't forget these people. Today I'm helping as much as I can. Even give a smile. The smile is a sadaqah, is a gift.
So even the gift of a smile, which is I think one of the highest gifts that one can give.
Yes, I remember once a couple of years back, I was during the Christmas Eve, I was helping the homeless people. So I spent some time with a couple of people. So they told me, thousands of people walking here, not a single people say hello to me, but you came with your team, you say hello to me, you spend the time. I don't want anything, I got what I want.
God bless you. God bless you.
So
that's such a great message.
This is the thing, and also try to help the people who is going through a very difficult time. Once a time I met with a sister, actually she had gone through some family issues and all these things, and I knew her, but that time I met in the library, and she says family issue, but she didn't know where to go and how to get help. So I tried to help and sort it out. And
so just to touch that again, so basically somebody came up to you in the local library, or you went up to them, right? Because of you saw some despair on their face. So do you mind just sharing a little bit more about that? What was going on?
Yeah, she had some family issues and she didn't know how to get help. So even she was living in this country many years. So I tried to take her in the lawyer and citizen advice, and they help her actually.
They did end up helping her.
They did help her.
Well done.
And they helped her to came out. And after a few months, one day in the same street, I have seen her. I met with her, and she was smiling, and she looked very happy. And I was thinking, might be something has changed. I said, sister, how are you? All right? She said, brother, I'm really grateful to you. What problem I had, it has resolved. I said, oh, thanks God, you are happy. So this is the things, and to do these things, you don't need to spend £1 million.
No,
you have to give your quality time. Even, he's the best. The Muslim, he's the best who is best to his neighbors. So this is the thing, we can do something. We can go and say hello to our neighbors, the elderly people, to see how they are, give a smile. So
I love it.
It's a very simple thing.
And in Christianity, it's much the same.
All religions, all religions say the same thing.
Help thy neighbor. It's wonderful to hear this. So we're not going into the context of all. I believe all, as in the Sikhism, we believe that every religion has the same humanitarian base. So
yes,
I love this. So the message you're giving is to be selfless to an extent and go and help individuals. Today, you're in a very strong position. Your mindset is very strong. I also know that you mentor individuals now, and you speak on public stages. How is that working for you?
Obviously, it was not easy actually to share my past, my pain to the people. But I realized when I share it, it helped me to release my pain, and same time, it's gonna raise their awareness.
Amazing.
So some people will not be affected by all these things, and also.
So even if you save that one person.
Yes. And same time, when people listen, they're really inspired, because it's my story. I'm not telling someone's story, and they have seen on front of them
evidence
that the person done something,
So not just so you're continuingly to change something and continue doing something.
Yes. So this is also, and I try to through my experience, I try to help other people, to make a change, and that's why I always say I will try until make a change.
Oh, God bless you. There's something that's really inspiring from our first half, but I want to just double check it with yourself if you can. You know, blame. Now, when we blame somebody else for our journey, yeah, do you feel that this has a weakening effect upon you?
Yes, obviously we are human. First of all, we are very weak. And especially when we had gone through a very difficult time, emotionally, mentally, we became really weak. So that time we try to blame someone to try to release ourselves. Yes, it's true, because of someone it happened. But if we keep wasting our time to blame the person or the individual, then how I can change myself?
How can you change yourself? Yes.
Yeah.
So what is the solution?
The solution is, okay, the person done something, whatever, move out. Change yourself, do something different. Then your time will come. If you are honest, if you are innocent, your time will come. So don't waste your time, because then you can change yourself. Some positivity will come your mind, and then you will see how is your life. Because
beautiful message.
After darkness, the light will come.
Light will come.
But I have to work hard.
Yes. Now you just amazing. That's it. That's exactly what you said. So moving on, but not necessarily holding a grudge against the person, releasing the grudge as well. But remembering that time will come, light will be at the end of the tunnel, but you still have to take those steps that you just said to keep moving on. Is that right?
Yes, and it is very important, which is happened to me. I'm really grateful to some people in my life. Without them, I couldn't be here. And if they didn't hold my hand, if they didn't give me the hope, I don't know what is going to happen. So it is very important in our life, have a good friend where I can share. So always try to share with your close people whom you can trust, you love.
Yes,
absolutely. And then you can see some change will come. And this is the way I did. And also, not only that, I try to engage myself with the good work. So it gave me some positive vibe. Like I've told you, I run in the London marathons and other marathons too, helping the disabled children who involved with the sports. Yeah. Because I could be disabled, or I could have something. So God gave me good health, so I should do something. So I raise money for them. This is the way I help. And might be, you will be surprised, my marathon run is appreciated by all these star cricketers like Sir Vivian Richards, Brian Lara, Gary Sobers. They really helped me to promote my run.
Wonderful. There's something really deep about this, you see, because giving your own time selflessly towards other charities, because you're a fundraiser in that context, but there was something very specific that when I read up on you and understood your backstory, Mohammed, you actually didn't just run charitably and raise capital or raise money, raise funds for the disabled and children, etc., but actually it was also through a prime time. You actually ran through the month of Ramadan, the actual month of Ramadan, which is a time when you're actually not drinking water, you're not eating, so you've only got a set window in the morning to take that influence and take that ingestion of the food and fluids, and then you still continue to run half a marathon, and you've done this twice. And I'm going to tell you, you've also done this, you've also walked over 100 miles, which we'll touch on in a moment, but you've also walked 100 miles in the same month of Ramadan as well, not at the same time, but in different consecutive years. But what is the key skill? Because, come on, you're walking, you're running a marathon, you're not drinking any fluids. Is this a mindset game?
Of course it's a mindset. It's a mindset, your faith, your belief, your intentions. If you have a good intentions, I can tell you, might be it will take time, it will be delayed, but the good thing will come. And you have to be desperate. People will say lots of things. This is their opinion, but you have to believe your opinion. First, ask yourself what you are doing, is it right or wrong?
Got it.
That's very simple. So and this is the way I did. Like you said, I did run a half marathon. I did a walk 616 miles on behalf of the Joe Cox Foundation. To appreciate all the volunteers, to raise the community awareness, and I really enjoyed,
This is just a formidable thing. But Joe Cox, just to clarify, was the councillor who was...
she was an MP.
Sorry,
in Batley, Yorkshire.
That's right, yes. So, first of all, God bless for that reason. But thank you very much for being a part of that and actually walking the actual streets, going through, and actually you walked, is that right?
Yeah.
And how long did this take?
It took 21 days to complete 616 miles from Batley, Yorkshire to London.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And I really enjoyed this thing in my life. And this is the way actually I have learned lots. Not only I give back, I have learned lots, through that.
Well, this leads me to the final question, actually. It's something, can you believe how time is running through? We've only got 8 minutes left. Can't believe it. It's just like we're getting engrossed at the Empower. And you've been an amazing guest for ourselves here today, Mohammed. But I want to move forward, and ask you a question, because you said it's a message. But what is your message? What are you doing this for? What is the message for the next generation? You have a job, so you're not spending any time you're not using any of the funds yourself. There's something really beautiful that you said with reference to the funds, that you don't actually use the funds and you don't fundraise for your own charitable trusts and stuff and then work on it afterwards. You actually get the working done first. For example, with Tesco's, I think you connected and something to do with the clothes. I'm not sure. Food, sorry.
Yeah, food, yeah. So I collect mainly, I don't want to take any money in advance. So I try to make my plan, what I want to do. Then my friends, they help me. So sometimes I collect the clothes, foods, and I go to the people, and this is the way I give it to them. And also my other project like Run and all these things, this money straight away go to
direct to the fundraise.
Direct to the charities, And also I try to help other charities in fundraising, to give them idea how I can make a plans. Like I'm the ambassador of Mayor of Croydon.
Wow.
So where we have a few ambassadors, and I'm helping him in his fundraising in charities and the communications in the other boroughs.
So within the Southern Asian communities as well?
Is for everyone.
For everybody?
Yeah, because he is the mayor of Croydon, so mayor for everyone. So he's doing this work, so I'm part of him. And also I'm the ambassador of Mayor of London's, the Team London's, which is called.
Amazing.
And also this...
So you're ambassador for a very large amount of environments. You've won multiple awards. What is the message you're wanting to give to the next generation?
Before the message, I want to say life is never easy. Life is a test. I can share here. Sometimes we have to learn how to express ourselves, how to explain. Like last year, while I was a selector in the ICC Cricket World Cup, and when they knew about my story, where I'm from, what was my background, they were shocked, and they said, "You didn't look like that. You look like very relaxed, you smiles and all these things." I said, first of all, the change has to come from myself.
From within you?
No one can change me.
Wow.
But change has to come. First of all, I have to feel that change is coming. And this is the way I have to react.
Optimistic.
So the main message is, life is a test for everyone. The good time, bad time will come. Be patient. Whatever faith you have, try to follow your faith, try to practice it, believe in the God. And God, test those people whom He loves so much.
Oh, wow. What a lovely message, yes.
And never wait for the good time. Maybe because we don't know when it will come, but we have to try our best. If I didn't try that time, how I could be here. But it took many years. So work hard. Be patient.
And believe
your vision.
That's right. Believe your vision. And you said something a moment ago. Be optimistic. The belief that it's going to get better.
Yeah. And be honest. Keep your intention clear. Sometimes, when we help someone, before we help, we try to get something from you. Then is no help.
An expectancy.
Yeah. Is not a help. So you have to be 100% pure. This is very simple. This is the way I lead my life. My life, the ethics is very simple. Very simple. Be honest. Keep your intention clear. Try to get closer to the God. Try to help the people as much as you can. And never compare yourself with others. Be who you are.
Be yourself. Be your own light. What a lovely message. So, just going forward, this is such a powerful conversation we're having here. Looking back at yourself, how powerful have you felt that reflection? Because we can learn in reflection. Steve Jobs always said that you can't join the dots in life looking forward. You have to have lived it, achieved it, and you can go back and you can join the dots. That's basically a direct reflection to looking at oneself, isn't it?
Yes.
So how has this helped you? Because I remember it was a very powerful point when you said that you came off the streets around to your friend's house and became from the sky above you to a roof above you, and you reflected and you took heed of where you are. How powerful is reflection? Because from my understanding, reflection is probably one of the most powerful things to do, because if you don't, you're never going to learn from your experience.
Yes, sometimes we have to look back our past to learn ourselves, to judge, to purify ourselves, because might be we did some mistake, so that's why you have to go back. So try to learn from our mistake from the past, but whatever happened, it happened. Try to change. Even sometimes it's not easy. Even I'm talking about myself, sometimes it's not very easy for myself, when I remember my pastors and all these things, but I try to think my future, what I want to do, what is my vision, and when I went back, I've seen, I came all the way, I gained something.
Wow.
And that's why I'm really grateful. Whatever I have, I don't try to less complain.
Don't complain. Yes.
Be grateful. Whatever you have, try to think. That's why if you look at up, we'll see the sky. It has no limit. That's why always look down. Always look down. Whatever you have, try to be happy
and be humble by it. Yeah.
Of course, be humble. And never judge others.
Bless you.
Judge yourself.
Yes. On reflection, point of reflection.
Judge yourself and think about yourself, what you want to do and why you are doing. Just keep between you and God.
I can't believe where the time's gone, Mohammed. Mohammed Zaman, he's been with us today, a truly, truly inspirational individual. But before we disappear, I just want one message. If there was one thing that you would love to be, what's coming next? What's the one thing you're going to next? Another 30 seconds, just quickly.
First of all, thanks again to you. And please remember me, all of your prayer. I can carry on these good deeds, and I hope I will be really grateful if something you get something from there. Try to do something better than me.
God bless you. Well done.
Thank you.
That's a great message there. I hope thank you very much, Mohammed, for being with us today. And you've been a truly, truly inspiring individual, because at such a young age, pleasant age of just 31, 32 years old, what a great achiever. This is the Empower Hour. It's a weekly show. I would love to see you next week. Please do tune back in 106.2 FM or
stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.